Okay guys, Boris appeared in front of the liaison committee earlier and often looked completely baffled when information was given to him. I mean, he had no idea a member of SAGE stood in front of a select committee this week stating there would be no foreign holidays this year. Yes, the Prime Minister Boris Johnson actually looked completely baffled by it, but not only that, makes out like it's perfectly fine for these unelected tosspots to come out and dictate policy, because now we know if travel is banned, then SAGE are running the country, not Boris the bullshitting clown. William Ragg called out SAGE by questioning Boris on who is actually running this country. Is it him or is it SAGE? Because I know who I think it is, and that ain't Boris, let me tell ya. But here, just listen to the answers this complete snivelling shitweasel gives. Not only does he appear baffled, but the bumbling bullshit he comes out with is just ridiculous.
Thank you. Coming on to SAGE and indeed other advisory groups, at the weekend a member of a government advisory body said that there wasn't going to be any international travel this summer. That no doubt cheered the nation immensely. Is that the policy of the government?
Who, SAGE said that, did they? Sorry, forgive me, Will.
A member of a government advisory committee.
Okay, well, what we're going to do is on April the 5th, we'll get the findings of the Global Travel Task Force, and I'll be setting out where I see what I think it may be possible from May the 17th. You know, as Yvette was just saying, things are looking difficult on the continent, and we'll have to look at the situation as it develops.
But is it helpful to have members of these august bodies sort of freelancing across the media for decisions have been made by ministers?
I think it's one of those things that we just have to get used to. I think it's been a feature of life for quite some time.
But do you find it helped, Prime Minister?
Well, I think what it shows is a wide spectrum of scientific opinion.
So do advise and ministers decide?
Oh, yes.
Now on top of this, he actually gives us one of the most pathetic excuses for vaccine passports I think I've ever seen, and claims people will be happy with his papers please society, which I don't think is true. When people actually realise it does not stop there, they will eventually push back. In my mind, the guy is delusional, but enough of me talking. Watch this final clip and see the bullshit for yourself.
Very good. Could I bring you on to COVID vaccine certification? Do you believe that the COVID vaccine certification for domestic use is compatible with a free society such as ours?
I do think that the basic concept of vaccine certification should not be totally alien to us, because, after all, when you're entrusted with care of a patient, and you say you're a surgeon, you're expected to have a vaccination against hepatitis B. The principle is there. This is a particularly contagious disease. It can be very nasty indeed. We've seen what happened in care homes, as we were discussing earlier. It doesn't seem to me to be irresponsible at all far from it. It's wholly responsible for care home companies to think of requiring vaccination.
You mentioned surgeons and the care sector. That's very different to the ordinary citizen going to the pub. So do you recognise that distinction for COVID vaccine certification?
I think that's the kind of thing that it may be up to individual publicans. It may be up to the landlord.
I'm interested to know because in politics at the moment, there's a great deal of time for thought and thinking. So I'm thinking to perhaps your previous Daily Telegraph comes. I'm not going to quote from them, don't worry. But I'm wondering if the Prime Minister in those years, well, they're all excellent and I recommend it. But I cannot imagine in a past life you writing about being support of a COVID vaccine certification to go to the pub.
Well, you'll appreciate, Will, that There are other members of your committee, distinguished members such as Yvette, who take a passionately opposing view about the need for tougher measures, and I've found myself in this long national conversation thinking very, very deeply about it, and I think the public have been thinking very deeply about it. And my impression is that there is a huge wisdom in the public's feeling about this, and human beings, instinctively recognise when something is dangerous and nasty to them, and they can see that COVID is collectively a threat, and they want us as their government and me as the Prime Minister to take all the actions I can to protect them, and that's what I've been doing for the last year or more.